Have you ever found yourself knowing exactly what it is you need to do, but you just couldn't make yourself do it? Or have you ever visualized success? You knew exactly what that looks like. You could picture it in your head. You can literally taste it, but you struggle to make the necessary steps to make it a reality.
If you love me, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you, baby, don't you, baby.
Okay, so if you nodded yes to any one of those questions, I'm going to tell you right now that I struggled with all of those things as well. All right, and so every tip that I'm about to give you is actually what I did on my journey to get out of my lazy girl era, because that had to go bye-bye, okay? Okay, so my tip number one is going to be set goals and set specific goals. I think the key to that is specific and measurable goals. What people tend to do is set this huge goal and then get super discouraged on their way to hitting it, right? Let's just say you want to lose weight. That is your goal. Your goal, and you set this goal in your head where you're like, I want to lose 40 pounds. Okay, but you didn't say how you want to lose that 40 pounds. You didn't break that thing down into a smaller goal. 40 pounds is your goal. That's the goal. And what happens is, let's just say you say the next morning, I'm going to the gym. Okay, you go to the gym, you get to the gym, you don't know what to do there. You get overwhelmed, you start to feel embarrassed because you don't know what to do. Even when you pick up weight or you get on a machine, you don't know if you're doing it right. Like, you feel like my form is off, people are looking at me, people are probably gonna laugh at me, whatever the case may be. Like, you're like, I am not about to be a meme. So you leave that gym, you go back home, and you lay in your bed. Right? If you've ever experienced that, which I'm gonna be honest, that was me when I first told myself I wanted to lose weight. I would get so discouraged at the gym. I felt like people know what they were doing. They're gonna know I'm an amateur. I would look at other girls' bodies, compare, contrast. It was just foolishness, right? And my tip for that, real quick, this is just a little nugget. Never ever compare your day one to someone else's day 365 or more. Okay, you don't know what day they're on. Okay, so never compare your day one to them. So that's my extra little nugget in there. But going back to my point, right? So you get there, you don't know what it is you're doing, right? So you leave, you go home, you feel discouraged, you're back in your bed, you're like, I tried, right? And so you're like, but I know what it is I had to do to get there. What you do know is the basics, right? You know that you have to work hard. You know that you have to be consistent. You know that you have to work out. You know that you have to eat clean, but you really want to break that thing down into smaller goals. For example, a good goal for weight loss would be, I want to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. Right? And so every week you're aiming to lose that 1 to 2 pounds. What is it going to take for you then to do that? So this means I'm going to have to go to the gym at least 4 times per week. And I would even break that down. Now I need to be specific with my workouts. This means I need to actually research the videos, know exactly what I'm doing, research form, right? So you really want to know what you're doing beforehand. So this is what I mean by taking a big goal and breaking that thing down into a specific goal. I think what happens a lot of times, I know for me, is I set really big goals and I am reaching for everything and I achieve nothing because it's just too much. It becomes overwhelming. So if that's you, I definitely encourage you, break these goals down. Be very specific, measurable. You want to be able to measure that thing out. Am I closer? Am I getting closer? Okay, my goal is 30 pounds. Yes, but I'm going to do this by losing 2 pounds per week. Okay, great. So by the end of the month, if I stay to my plan, I should be down 6 to 8 pounds. Great. So by the end of that month, by the end of that week, did I do what I was supposed to do? By the end of 2 weeks, am I down 4 pounds? Right? You can measure this thing out. So you really want it to be very accomplishable by being specific and measurable. Okay, moving on to my tip number two. My tip number two is going to be create healthy routines. You have to create routines, especially get up out of this era of laziness or procrastination, or you want to get out of that. You need to create healthy routines for yourself. The way that I recommend, right, is one, I like to do to-do lists. But I also like to do calendar blocks. This is going to be super important, especially if you're not used to getting so much done in a day, or you're not used to this specific routine, I would write that thing out. What is your day supposed to look like? And I would write it out before the day. So that means the night before, possibly. I would even write out for the week, your overall, what's your week supposed to look like? And then on a daily basis, I would plan my day out, right? Like, what is tomorrow supposed to look like? Like, what am I doing? Okay, I have to get X, Y, and Z done. So I would plan that out. And then if one thing that helped me, once again, was calendar blocks. Especially if you're not used to this life, okay? You're not used to this amount of hustle. I would give yourself time to play, right? I would do work, play. And so the way that I'll give you an example of what you could do, right? So you could say, okay, I'm going to work on my business for a total of 45 minutes at, from 9 to 9:45. That is what I'm doing. That 45 to 10, I am strolling, okay? I am doing whatever I want to do. I'm entertaining my brain, just taking a mental break from it, and I am just going to stroll. Then from 10 to 10:45, I am back at it. I'm going to work again, right? So give yourself blocks of time, right? So that you can be productive. If you try to jump all in, right, and you're not used to this, you can actually overwhelm yourself, right? You can discourage yourself as well. So you don't want to do that. You want to give yourself a time to actually mentally relax and do something that you want to do. So overall, what I'm saying is you definitely want to have a schedule for your day. What is that supposed to look like? What is your priorities for the day? Have a schedule, but make sure you include breaks in there, okay? Because once again, you start running before you crawl, you will get discouraged and you'll back out of your plan. So you want to be consistent. That's definitely key. But in order to do that, you have to make sure you build a realistic routine for yourself, okay? And so I know, I'll give you an example. So many times I have wanted to lose weight. I have done the research. I got past that part. And then when it came down to routine, I fumbled, right? And so what will happen is I would just go all in real quick. Like, I'm working out for hours at a time. I'm going to do 2 workouts in a day. I'm going to go hard. And then by the end of the week, I'm so exhausted. My body hurts. I'm over it. I'm done. I tried. I gave it my best. I became overwhelmed with the process. And so to not do that to yourself, give yourself grace and breaks. Okay? Be very realistic with your schedule. Okay, my tip number 3, accountability. Accountability is going to be so important, especially if you are just starting this thing out and you're like, I am done sitting here and not getting my goal. I am done not tasting success when I know how that thing looks. I know how close I am to it. You need accountability. So I'm going to keep using the fitness one because it's just a clear goal, or starting a business. Let's just say you want to start a business. You want to inform a family member, a friend, or hire a coach. You can definitely hire a coach, but you want to inform a family member or friend to hold you accountable. You will need somebody. Now, let me just say, be very careful with who you pick for that, okay? So, because if you pick a friend who does not support you, who does not truly have your best interest at heart, who does not see your vision, who does not see your plan, they will discourage you, right? You do not want to pick the wrong family member or the wrong friend. Do not go and talk to your uncle about starting a YouTube channel when you know he only believes in 9-to-5s. Okay, you're going to leave discouraged. He's not going to encourage you to do it. He's not going to make you feel good about it, right? You're going to leave feeling like, dang, I'm doing life wrong, right? You don't want that type of person. You want to be careful with who you actually go to for this portion. It is so important because you also want somebody who's going to build you up and not tear you down, right? And it really depends on your type of motivation style. I know some people who like to get yelled at and like they like the idea of someone telling them like, no, you need to be on it, like that tough love. And then I know people who tough love is not going to work on them. As a matter of fact, they're going to run far, far away. Okay, so just make sure you pick the right person to hold you accountable to this goal. And you want to actually plan this out. Be very intentional about this. Don't just say, yo, can you hold me accountable, girl? I want to go to the gym. You'll call me? Or, hey, can you check in with me every now and then? And you know this friend will not check in with you, right? You want to be very intentional. You want to say, hey, do you have about 15 minutes every Sunday at about 3 o'clock? Because I want to just strategize for you. I want to strategize how my week, I want to talk about how my week went, and I want to strategize what this next week should look like for me. Can you do that? And therefore, it'll hold me accountable in the way that I need, right? You want it to be very strategic and intentional. So many times you have people are like, oh yeah, I got accountability buddy. And it's like, y'all get on the phone, y'all talk about everything but what it is you need to talk about, or you don't get on the phone at all. There's no accountability there. It's just, hey, did you work out today? Yeah, no, okay. You didn't, cool. No, you need someone who's gonna go, okay, so you didn't hit your goal. Tell me a little bit why. What went wrong this week, right? What could we do differently next week, right? You want someone who's going to challenge you a little bit in there, right? You really want to be intentional about that accountability person. Okay, moving on to my last tip for today is going to be encouragement. This is one of the biggest tips I have out of this whole video, because so many times we have these dreams and we have these goals and we get closer and closer. Your goal was to lose 30 pounds and now you're down 10 and you're like, dang, I still got 20 more to go. I still haven't hit my goal. Or maybe you are moving a little bit slower than you wanted. You wanted to lose 2 pounds a week and right now it looks like you're losing 1, right? And we miss the opportunity to celebrate the small wins. You're closer to your goal than you were 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Like, celebrate these small wins, because by doing that, one, you'll encourage yourself. That will give you the momentum to say, keep going, sis. You're getting there. Keep going, sis. It's working, right? And so just know, like, slow and steady wins the race, okay? Like, you are going to get there, but you have to celebrate those small wins. That is what's going to keep you encouraged. That is what's going to keep you motivated at times when you don't feel motivated. Which, let me just say really quick, disclaimer, motivation does not matter, truly. And what I mean by that is, regardless of how you feel, if you feel motivated or not, you gotta keep going. It's really all about discipline. You want to train yourself to be disciplined and not be driven solely off motivation, because there's gonna be times where you're not motivated. There's gonna be times where you don't feel like it, but you have to keep going. So that's just another quick little nugget in there, but it is still so important to celebrate those small wins, because they do help with motivation and they do make you feel good about yourself. And it lets you know that the process is working. So that encourages you to keep going. I also want you to remind yourself to stop and smell the roses, right? Enjoy the process that you're on. Enjoy the journey to success that you're on. Know that it's not an overnight thing. Anything worth having is going to be a sacrifice. It's going to be hard, but you can do this, okay? And then lastly, within this encouragement part, I want you to understand that setbacks happen, right? Like, if you're in your fitness journey, plateauing is normal, right? And so these things are normal. And I want you to understand that setbacks can happen, but they always set you up for a major comeback. So just keep that in mind. All right, so that is all that I have for you guys. I hope you guys truly like this video. If you do, definitely thumbs it up and subscribe. This channel is going to be about uplifting women, encouraging you guys, really helping you take your life to the next level, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And so if you want to join this community called Virtuous Her, that's what my community is called. If you want to be a virtuous her, a virtuous woman, definitely join by subscribing. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.